Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here 1 second. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. There. Just, all right, awesome. Good, good, good. All right, great stuff. All right, well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. And this week, I hope you guys enjoyed Sunday night. We're going to be doing that every Sunday night with Algo 382. We're going to be doing riding the wave with enjoyed John and Paul, and so hopefully you guys found that helpful yesterday. We did come up with some cool setups. Of course, the market had some other ideas, but some of them worked right away at the open. Right, I talked about Beyond yesterday, giving a nice push to the upside. That was good. We'll take a look at that a little bit. Looks like we got some chart requests out there for that already. So good stuff there. But that was fun. So hopefully you guys tune in Sunday night, and we'll take a look at some Elliott Wave setups that are going into the week, and it's just a fun discussion. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. So for the rest of this week, we're going to be talking about day trading clean charts. And so what we mean by that are just like charts without any indicators on it, right? Just using trend lines and obviously Fibonacci's down the line and stuff like that too, but just starting with a clean chart. And that can be really, really helpful just to kind of get perspective of what's going on. And today we're just going to focus in on trend lines, and we're going to talk about other techniques this week. So it's going to be a good one. So before we get started, though, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. So what we're going to do is what we always do is we're going to take a look, see where we left off in the market here today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures, and then we'll go over the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right. So SPX inside month so far. We got 1 week left in this month, and everything was awesome. Everything was going great. Right. We had inside month green, and then down 64 points today. So it was a little bit of a rough one today. Bears kind of stepped up here. Again, upper shadows off of the upper Bollinger Band. Here on the monthly chart, weekly chart. So we're basically pushing back here, right? Again, we got the Cloud Canyon coming up right here. This is, potential volatility. Of course, we're heading to the election, stimulus news, Corona, all that good stuff. So we'll see how far they are willing to push this one. But it might have just been just a down day. I mean, because for the most part, it was pretty controlled selling. That could be a little bit worrisome going forward, right? There was no real news to send the market down today. But it is what it is. We'll just keep track of the charts and see where price takes us. So far, right, we've got this corrective channel going on right here, which looks like a bull flag. And so was hoping this Dragonfly Doji would get us out of here, but we couldn't quite break out. So today, right, we were met with a gap down, and then we pushed. Right, we tried to go up a little bit this morning, and then we stayed below the 80 MA and pushed down here. Ended up closing below the 50 moving average, and ended up bouncing a little bit off the cloud and the bottom of the flag. So there's still a possibility to get a breakout of this thing, depending on how long it goes. So we'll see where it goes from there. Let's take a look at the intraday price action here today. So again, gap down today, and a quick push to the downside, which is pretty interesting, right? So a little bit different than what we saw in the futures here this morning, but it tried to give a nice push up here, and then really just couldn't do it, right? So we had a thin range here in the 15 orb, a little sideways action here, declining 80 MA, right? We stayed below the 80 MA for the majority of the day until we bounced off of a hammer. So it's a little bit of a move there. Looking like a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders here going into tonight. So we'll see how the futures are looking in a little bit, and what we might be expecting going into the rest of the evening and into tomorrow morning. So good stuff there. Let's take a look at the levels that we provide to our members before each market open here. So we gap down, gap basically to a long-term volumetric level, right? So this is kind of important levels. That's why it hung out here for a little bit. Once it rejected that, right, we pushed our way down pretty sharply here today. There's good distance between levels. We like when there's nice space between levels because we're not really in a chop zone, right? Once we get this, it's pretty clear that we would get to the next levels below. So we had a prior inside day level that we tested right here. Again, we provide these levels to our members, and then again pushed back down here. Couldn't quite get to the closing gap, but oftentimes if you reverse off of a closing gap area, it's good for a reversal, right? So we got a nice push off of there, and then we ended up closing at these levels and a little bit of a pop into the close. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and to show you the levels that we look at here. So when we look at the S&P, and we do trade the SPY options off of this often, we like to see a kind of a we use our supply and demand zones essentially, right? So we like to see how we handle these levels. We like to see how the ES and the S&P futures handle these areas right here. So it's a little bit different, right, than the move that the candle kind of shows you there on the SPX, right? We did have a down move, right? So if you go to the 15-minute chart, it does look somewhat familiar to it, right? But what we were actually kind of pushing this morning, we were thinking that we would fill this gap, right? Because we gapped down below the yesterday's low, right? Friday's low. Let's go. So let me pull that up for you right here. Right, so you can see Friday's low right here. Right, so we had a real gap down, right, and so it looked like with everybody kind of short overnight after we broke out of this trend line right here, that we might push and fill the gap, but they couldn't quite get there. However, we were in this this drop-based drop zone right here, and we ended up getting a lot of upper shadows here. So that kind of keyed us into, wait a second, if they're not filling this gap right away like this with what is it, like 2 points away. Right, there's something going on here, right? So we couldn't get over the signal zone here today. We had a bunch of upper shadows right here, and then boom, we had this breakdown candle right here, and then we had nice distance here between our zones, and we got down to our next zone right here. Now, speaking of Elliott wave, right? So what this was an impulsive move down. There's your wave one. So if you miss the first wave, it's okay, right? There's room to get in, right? So here's your move. Here's your wave two, right? 1, 2, 3. And then look at this. This is perfect today, right? Remember we talked about a couple weeks ago, we talked about triangle wave fours, right? There's your wave four triangle. And then boom, wave five down today. And we finally bounced off of this lower signal zone right here and got a nice bounce off of that one. And again, looking like an inverse head and shoulders going into tonight. And we got a push here after hours. And we're kind of drifting up here a little bit after hours here today. So we'll see how that holds going into the rest of the evening. Again, here's your inverse head and shoulders. We got a breakout right there. So we'll see how this holds. Now, what we can do is we can put a geometric level here, right, and see how that holds for the rest of the evening if we can continue to drift up right here. It'd be pretty cool if we get to the scene of the breakdown tomorrow, but we'll see what they have in store. So good stuff. All right, so that's where we're at tonight, and we'll see what they have in store for tomorrow. And like we said, today we're going to be talking about day trading clean charts. So if you saw the ES that I pointed out there, that's about as clean as you can get. We're going to talk a little bit more about those levels again there. But what I kind of want to focus on today is just kind of starting with a clean chart, and just being able to take a step back and kind of see what's going on in the market, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a fresh drawing set up here, and let's see what we got here. So we got 57, create drawing C58. Okay, and so look at that, perfectly clean chart, right? Just price. And so what we love about the market is that it respects geometry, and it respects a lot of other things too. But when we start with a clean chart, right, it really gives us a lot of things to work with, right? It allows us to see chart patterns. It allows us to see things that might be materializing. So one of the things that we could look at just in general is on SPX on the daily chart is to just kind of take a step back here. Let me go back to the. Oops, what happened there? Did I click the wrong thing? Oh, okay, I got this right here. So here. 1 second. C82. Clean chart, and then we'll go to the daily chart here. And we'll take a look at trend lines. Okay, so trend lines, guys, if anybody who's new here, kind of joining in, hasn't seen our 3-minute trend line reversal, be sure, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and check out our playlist. And there's a playlist that we have that is basically technical analysis explained in 3 minutes, right? So that's the idea. The idea, and one of our most popular ones there is our trend lines, because trend lines are so important, right? They tell us what the trend is, and if we lose those trend lines, it shows us the trend is changing, right? We can adjust our trades accordingly. So recently, right, on the SPX, right, of course we've had this crazy move up since the Corona crash. What we do is, to do a trend line, is we go to the lows to the highs, right? So we go low, so we go low to high, right? And then all we have to do is just bring the trend line down until it finds a point, right? A turning point that doesn't intersect any other levels. And that's it right there. Okay, here's your turning point right here. It doesn't intersect anything else. So that is the fresh trend line, right? So it definitely shows you that the trend was up, right? So what we then look for is when the trend is continuing to move up, is we look to see when trend starts to change, right? And like we talked about, in the video, right? We look at our trend boxes, right? And so, we can complicate the chart a little bit here with the trend box and be like, okay, here's your first trend box right here, right? And we look for momentum moves through there. But one of the big things that really all we need to look at on the day trade side is, okay, this is the candle that broke down the trend line. So what we want to see is if we can get a momentum move through that level to see if the market wants to test lower, right? It's showing that trend is changing. So you can see right here, just this next day, this was a huge breakdown out of this candle right here to give a nice move down here from 34.27, a nice momentum move down here to 34.48, right? We're talking a 70-point move on the SPX. So that's huge. huge, just trading off of these levels. And then we can go into the intraday time frames to help find other action there, right? So again, we're still in a macro trend box right now because we haven't reached fresh all-time highs yet. But one of the things we can do is put a fresh trend line here, right? So we go from lows to highs, the recent highs. And although it's not the official trend line, which is this one right here, it still gives us good clues into the market action. So we go from lows to highs, and we just want to find a turning point pivot that doesn't intersect anything else. Getting close, that's the one right there, right? So now we can see how important these levels are. Right? This was a nice breakdown candle right here. We gapped down below here, and we never pushed below it, right? And until 2 days later. Ended up forming an evening star reversal, and we talked about this, that evening star reversal is like a little bit of a pullback, and look at that. We got some downside movement on it. So being able to use clean charts allows us to see chart patterns a little bit easier, and it also allows us to help us find nice trades, right? So we can see here, this level is very important, the breakdown below this level right here. So you can see last Monday, right, that we got a nice breakdown through that level right here, right? And that was about for 34.40 to 34.21 for a 20-point move on the SPX, just on that momentum breakdown through that level. And then we can simply go to the lower time frames and look for those areas, right? So if we go here, is about like 34.40. I'm just going to put a line here so we can reference it here. 34.40, and then we just go to the intraday time frame. So if we go back to last week, right, one of the things we do is we go to a clean chart right here, and I'm gonna have to go probably like 10 days on this one just to make sure that we catch it. And let's see, we got this here, yep, 82, and we just go back to last Monday, right? And you can see exactly what happened here, right? So this was the 19th, and you can see we were already breaking down right here intraday, and we were holding trend to the downside, right? So we had a high right here, a low right here. We got our trend line right here that doesn't intersect anything else, so we could clearly see that the trend was down. We had a nice retracement to this level, right? This is a very shortable area, just like following moving averages, to get us down here. And look at this. We had a beautiful momentum breakdown through those levels, a little bit of a retrace to test it, and then boom, another push to the downside. So I mean, this is how we make 15, 20 points in a day, just using combining these charts together on different time frames and using these trend lines to our advantage. You can see we could use just a nice clean chart here, nice trend line, and can be able to detect trend and look for price action around those areas. So good stuff. So hopefully you guys found that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. Let me get the daily chart up here. Of course, it's not going to be as clean because I do like the clouds, and the moving averages are important, but sometimes it's nice just to have a clean chart. And we'll talk more about clean charts this week for looking for different areas of interest. And I think you guys will enjoy it. So good stuff there. So Shirley sent a few in via email. And again, guys, thanks for everybody for keeping Shirley your thoughts as prayers as she gets better every day. So she got a couple on the radar right here. So one is Adobe. So Adobe with a nasty breakdown here today on increased volume. Look at that. It broke down below this resistance level right here, the support level. Inside day down on Adobe. And we had a lot of outside days today. So a lot of names tried to push to the upside today. And we've done videos in the past on inside day tactics, right? So today, what we would look for on this inside day tactic for day trading is how it handles those highs. If it rejects those highs, we look for a 50% move below those levels, right? So yesterday was an inside day right here. Look at this, right there, upper shadow off of those levels this morning. Couldn't even get over the pre-market highs and gave a beautiful flush down here, then broke the 15 orb, right, and gave a nice move there. That's just trading inside day strategies. Guys, today we did Apple today, right? Just using an inside day, right? Apple was an inside day yesterday, right? An inside day keeps the doctor away, I guess. And well, yesterday actually we used a prior inside day, so those levels play out. Disregard. But anyway, it was a prior inside day. These levels still play out in the future, just so you guys know. We use this in our group a lot. But anyway, we broke down here and had a nice momentum breakdown here at the lows for a nice trade. Anyway, sorry. Back to Adobe. So good stuff there. Let's see what else we got. We got Nvidia. Okay, so NVIDIA is another one with a big outside day today. Now, difference between NVIDIA and Adobe is NVIDIA pushed down to its 50-day moving average. Good algo level right here for its potentially hold, right? Now, NVIDIA was an inside day down, so let's take a look at NVIDIA, right? So you can see yesterday's highs, right, failed to get taken out, right? They pushed through it this morning, right, for a nice momentum move this morning, but then we had a big, nasty candle right here, right, to push down back into the range, right? So what do we do with that, right? Well, we go for 50% of the prior day's candle, right? And that gets us right here very nicely. Then we break down out of the 15 orb low for another move down. Again, a lot of these 1, 2, 3, 4 triangle 5 moves today. So really nice stuff there. So let's see how it holds. It's right at the 50-day moving average there on NVIDIA. BIIB. Let's take a look. So BIIB, oh wow, this one really broke down. Guys, we talked about this geometric line not too long ago, trend line actually, and a fast breakdown through here, right, and look, nice follow through on that one. You gotta love a trend line breakdown. BNTX, BioNTech SE. Just careful with this one. This is an ADR. This is probably not one I would ever trade, but it's one to keep on the radar. If you like it. So definitely working on a little bit of a breakdown right here. Lower shadow here off the cloud, but just a little caution off of that one. DKNG still going. Guys, anybody that's been following us on the live streams here, or on the or talked last night with Paul and I on the Elliott Wave show, I've been talking about DKNG and talking about the potential for a symmetrical move down, right? So here's your zigzag, right? Your first move down, ABC right here, and then here's your zigzag endpoint right here, about 37. Guys, this thing since these levels right here has gone from 49 to 37. What a beautiful downside move on DKNG. We're below the cloud now finally with increased volume. Now we're approaching the symmetrical area right here and a prior congestion zone right here. So let's see how that holds going to this week. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing chops around for a little bit and then maybe get some move after earnings. So good stuff. Really appreciate it, Shirley. Great find on that one. Yeah, and that's a nasty candle too. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the radar for tomorrow. Again, DKNG's been on our short radar for a while. I mean, now we're kind of reaching the end of the move, the end of the symmetrical move there. But let's just still put that on the radar for tomorrow, so we have something to look at. Give me 1 second. And tomorrow is Tuesday. The market definitely had a case on the Mondays today. Let's see. So we got Tuesday. Okay, so we got that, and of course DKNG a little bit on the short radar. I like that breakdown there, and it was quite an interesting day today. Okay, so good stuff. Great find on that one. Thank you, Shirley. I really appreciate it. All right, great stuff, guys. Umesh, what's going on? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Let's take a look and see what we got going. So we got Tesla. All right, Tesla all the way down 35 cents today, guys. It's hanging in there. It's hanging in there, right? So it pulled back, 50% retrace. We talked about that yesterday. And again, it finished with a green candle today. Let's see. Could try to get green here. Let's see if we can get over the 80 and get back over that geometrical level and try to squeeze out some of those bears on that one. It's kind of sitting at the cloud too, so it does have potential to find some support here. Frogger. Rivet, trying to bounce its way across the road here. Big push on that one today, and then a reversal, right? So some good volume came out on this one today. Broke out through here, gave a nice momentum push through those levels, and then a big upper shadow off of that one. So a little bit of caution off of that, like fighting that upper shadow going forward. But it's still green, so it's a little bit tough to take short on that one. Still grinding its way up right here, kind of forming a little bit of a kind of a rising wedges type pattern. So let's kind of see how it goes. It's been grinding there. Snow with the follow through of yesterday's nasty or Friday's nasty red candle, right? So we talked about this yesterday. It's kind of holding the 80 MA right here. We wanted to see how it hold the 618. We're all the way down to the 786 with the lower shadow on this one. That's a key area for this one to try to hold. Beyond. All right, so Beyond ended up down 7 points today, but it did give a nice push at the open. So that was a good thing. Now it's sitting right at the 618. So let's see if it can hold right here. This is probably a good line in the sand for Beyond on this one. So again, it took the inside day down. It took the inside day down. We just couldn't get him. Most of these names at inside days couldn't take them up today. AMD, beautiful move at the open, guys. We went long at this one right at the open today. Beautiful move right here. Great move. I mean, this thing just launched this morning. It had relative strength this morning. Everything else was still kind of gapping down. This thing had already reclaimed most of its range pre-market, so we just had to go for it this morning. Gave a nice move this morning and really made the morning today. So and then, of course, take profit, when we're hanging in there, right? Move stops up here, and then of course it reversed pretty nasty on that one today. So it's a pretty nasty one right there. But ended up with a big upper shadow here, kind of sitting the 50 moving average here. We got earnings coming up on that one. So Docu, another one to kind of keep an eye on right here. So Docu with an upper shadow off the 80 MA here today. Tried to take an inside day up. Again, let's see if we can get over that upper shadow from today. See if we can keep going on that one. PayPal. Still pulling back. So had the good news about the Bitcoin type stuff, and then worked its way back down here, kind of sitting off of the 50-day moving average. So let's see if that can hold right over a cloud cliff, and earnings coming up soon too. Neo. All right, so Neo. Again, bottom of the bull flag right here. It's got to hold, right? So kind of a key thing, right, was Neo put in an inside week last week, and it took that inside week down. It's got to reclaim that range to try to show some bullishness right here. Let's see if it can hold on to that bull flag. So we've got that going on here too on Neo. So good stuff. Thanks, Umesh. I appreciate it. Mike, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at Apple. Apples and bananas. All right, so Apple. Okay, so I ended up working its way down here, a little bit of lower shadow off the cloud. We talked about that last night. We got a little bit concerned, right? We talked under the upward trend line right here, and today gave us a nice short move today as well. Again, earnings coming up on Thursday. Let's see if we can hold on to the cloud right there. Otherwise, if we get a red candle under the cloud, you might want to start testing a little bit lower, like the 110 area. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Let's take a look at Tesla again. So Tesla again hung in there today. It's hanging on to the 50-day. It's hanging on to the upper trend line. I love when the 50-day moving average or a major trend line is like just hugging or a major moving average is hugging our trend line. So cool. So so let's see how that holds there on Tesla if we can get back over those areas. So good stuff there. And then CCL, Carnival Cruise. Woof. Nasty move on that one too. You gotta keep that on the bearish radar, right? That was a tough move right there on CCL today. Again, big breakdown move again. Most of these names, the airlines. Names like that got really affected by the a lot of the European countries, starting to increase restrictions again for Corona. So we've got that going on. So yeah, so we'll see if we get some downside follow through. Just watch. We got a little bit of support down here, right, kind of in this area right here. So just see how it holds. If it breaks down below there, watch out, right? So it could be interesting. Good stuff. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. ZEK, what's going on? X marks the spot. U.S. Steel, big inside day today, has had a pretty nice move right there, coming up on earnings pretty soon. So we'll keep an eye on that one too. See how it handles that is inside day levels. Snap. Paul and I talked about this last night. A lot of these big names like Snap looking like they were finishing up with a kind of a wave 5 move. So a big push right there. See how it holds, right? We're after earnings right now. Just maybe, this was a wave 3 up, and we might triangulate for a little bit, and then Snap can give it a little bit of a move to the upside. AZN. Let's take a look. AZN with a bounce off the 200-day moving average, get a little bit of follow through, and over the 8-day. So that's nice, a little bit of extra volume on that one today. Some of the biotech names were pretty strong today. Yeah, and then Rite Aid, guys, amazing. We're definitely in a zone right here. We got some good volume here today. Again, it's looking like it's trying, but just kind of see if we can get a break out of that zone right here. But yeah, Rad was green today. I loved it. So that popped up on our radar this morning. I love it. Paul, what's going on? Tuning in. How's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. Again, great job last night. Great show last night. Looking forward to next Sunday. Umesh, yeah, pins. There's another one. Again, pins is another one that we talked about, right? So, again, this could be a wave 3 gap right here, and let's just see if it consolidates a little bit and goes from there. But again, things were looking a little bit extended on a couple of these names. So good stuff there. Angel, what's going on? Greetings from New York. I love it. Today, I sold everything and sat on your hands. Well, good job, man. Nice good way to bank some gains. So good stuff, man. Appreciate it. Creighton, what's going on? Hope you had a great weekend too. That's awesome. Yeah, what's up? Let's take a look at now. All right, so now with a pretty nasty outside day on that one here. So a big lower shadow here off the prior lower shadow. So, maybe it's finding some support kind of in this range right here. You see that prior congestion area right there. So let's see if it can hold that a little bit. But if not, if it continues to break down, you got the 50-day moving average as a potential target below. Home Depot down 6 points today, guys. Apparently the housing numbers came in pretty rough here this morning, and a lot of the home builders came in rough too. So Home Depot is definitely on the radar for that. If you look at Len, right, there's another home builder day. A lot of these struggled here today, so definitely want to keep on the radar right there. Again, those home numbers didn't really help the situation there today. D-Dog with an outside day here today. It's still sitting on the 618, so let's see if it can hold and try to work from there. This is definitely one to keep on the long radar, so I'm going to put that on there here just to see if the market does get strong tomorrow and a couple of these names get strong. D-Dog's in a good area right here with a lower shadow. And lower shadow, Paul, off the golden zone too. So let's see if we can work its way up, get over that ADMA and start moving up on D-Dog. So, and we know D-Dog can move. Good find on that one, Creighton. What else? Square. There's another one too. Again, Square, definitely curling over right here with the ADMA, right? So it filled an open gap there today. Let's see if it can hold that prior resistance as support. You can see that line coming over at about like 169-ish. So we've got that going on there too. Honeywell. Yeah, so Honeywell with a little bit of a drop there today. Again, lower shadow there, kind of off the 50-day moving average. Tricky one to trade, but when it moves, it moves. TMO. Double inside day on Thermo Fisher. So definitely want to keep an eye on right here. It could be triangulating in this area. Again, a green day today, which is nice. So it's up a little bit here today off of the prior levels. So again, possible wave 4 move, maybe a little bit triangle, and then a breakout on that one. So let's see if that can get some continuation there. Good find on that one. Massey. Massimo. So upper shadow there today. A little bit of a push. Earnings coming up on this one. FSLY really super duper strong at the open today. Right, gave a nice launch at the open. Right, a Zoom was strong. FSLY was strong. Everything was looking awesome, and then of course everything pulled back there. So again, still strong. It has earnings coming up on this one too. Again, I thought it already had earnings. Right, I guess they had some guidance. So maybe they lowered their guidance and then they're going to up their guidance and earnings. So try to give a reversal off of that. So we'll see how that goes from there. Piton. Again, outside day on Piton, guys. So again, we were leaning a little bit bullish on, but again, we want to see a nice close over the ADMA, and we couldn't get it. So let's keep an eye on Piton, see if we can see more downside follow through on it before I'm sure it has amazing earnings, because Piton is just Mr. Perfect. So anyway, so at SE finally broke down below the channel, below the ADMA right here. So a little bit of caution on this one, unless it's working on a bull flag to get back in the channel. So something to keep an eye on there. Great stuff. I really appreciate it. Paul, AMWL, one to keep on the radar for tomorrow. American Well Corp, very, very interesting right here. Okay, so what do we got? So a couple things right here. Let's take a look. So you got your Fibonacci's from the lows. Right. Uh-oh. I know Paul likes the 618 right here. Good move right there. So definitely a zigzag type move right here. Down, impulsive, ABC up. And the only thing that we have to watch out for is my favorite thing, right, which is symmetry. And so let's just duplicate that and just kind of see where it goes right here. Yeah, so we're actually right in this area right here. So a little bit of a dip into the golden zone might get this thing going for a little bit of an earnings run on American Well. Good find on that one, Paul. Nice. Appreciate it. Yeah. So Angel, tomorrow will be another pullback day. I love it. So good stuff there. So Creighton, so you discussed inside days, which primary signal move to the downside when a stock has an inside week or a double inside week. Does this ultimately signal what you look for? Yeah. So we use this as well. If you guys follow on the public Twitter there, one of the things we definitely look for is inside weeks, right? Because this can give us some bigger momentum moves, right? Especially on IPOs, right? We've done that in the IPO series, right? So here's your IPO move right there. You got an inside week after that. Look at the push on American Well after that one. 30.92 all the way up to 40.41. Huge win on AWL off that one. And again, big move off of this inside week. So yeah, you can use them on any time frame, right? So the bigger the time frame, though, you got to think the bigger the potential move, but also the longer it might take, right? But we still use those levels on intraday to give some good breakdown ideas, right? So AMD gave us a lot of moves last week off of this inside week down, gave us a really, really nice move, and that inside week up also gave a nice move. Yeah, so great question on that one. We use them just the same as inside days, but for potential larger moves, potential longer type moves. But again, still have to manage the risk and everything like that. Anyway, Tesla! I love it. Ryan, what's going on? Good to see you. RH, let's take a look. So RH, speaking of double inside week, we got it going on right here. So this thing's just kind of chopping around up here for a while, so you can tell that by the weekly range, right? So let's see if we can get a breakout of here one way or another. It's nasty pullback today, but still kind of hanging out in that range. So we got that going on there for that one. And then D-Dog, we looked at a little bit ago. Again, D-Dog looks interesting. I like how it's holding the 618, tagging to the golden zone. And let's see if it can work its way back or get up over the ADMA and try to move again. So that'd be nice. Eli, what's going on? Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for tuning in. One infected on a cruise ship caused a major panic. Bearish cruises until 2022. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that was that got things started, guys. I mean, really, when you think about Corona, right, it was all about those cruise ships. Remember? I mean, there were folks that were quarantined. Right? There were people. Remember outside of Japan. I think it was Yokohama. They were outside of Yokohama. I mean, just stuck out there. I mean, it was rough. And that was when Corona was starting. So again, they're still having trouble getting through that. I mean, I'm not a big fan of cruises, but I'm definitely not interested right now. So it's good stuff there. It's basically just a big floating petri dish, right? So we've got that going on for there. So BCRX. Penny name here is kind of triangulating here. Look for a breakout one way or another. They've got earnings coming up on that one. And then QDEL. This is not a penny name, so it's a big name right here. Again, big geometrical level right here, looking like a sideways cup and handle. Let's see how it handles that geometrical level. We can get up there. Nice move right there. See how it behaves on earnings. So good stuff there. Tracy, what's going on? Good to see you. Long time no see you. I hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at Netflix. Outside day today. Okay, so outside doji, right? So it's kind of like, which way is it going to go? Keep an eye on these levels right here. Outside days sometimes can be like inside days for moves. It's just basically saying, I don't know if I want to go up. I don't know if I want to go down. I don't know which way I want to go, but whichever I go, I might make a move, right? So just be careful here with Netflix here. It gave a nice little push up here today. We liked it off the 786. We talked about this last night. It gave a nice momentum move up this morning at the open. Very, very nice, right? But then it had a nasty reversal, but it had a good reclaim, so it ended up with a doji on that one. So again, this is a very, very key level right here on the 786 for Netflix. And then, of course, Apple and Amazon earnings coming up this week. Guys, we got Apple, we got Amazon, we got Facebook, and we got Google. that would be the majority of the FANG names right there. The only thing we're missing in terms of the highest weightings is Microsoft on Friday, but Microsoft is coming up this week, so we've got that. So we've got that going on. So good stuff. All right, so we've got a spinning top right here on Apple. We're holding the cloud, so let's see if that can hold into earnings. That's going to be an important part for that one. And Amazon, crazy day today on Amazon. The range of today's candle, right? The range, 129 points. That's more than like some stocks like total valuation, like today's range. Ended up not quite an outside day today, but a big doji here. Still below the 80 MA, still below the 50. A little bit of a crossover going right here. Let's see if we can get above the cloud and try to get constructive and see if they give a bullish move for it through earnings. It would be pretty cool if we've got that going on right there. So good stuff. Nice, Eli. I think you're just that's just part of like the laughing right there. But yeah, this thing is working its way down a little bit on that one. So Angel, yeah, Microsoft. So earnings coming up this week, down about $6 today, below the 50-day moving average. Kind of a nasty breakdown today. This is one of my favorite intraday short ideas today. Ended up taking Apple instead, but I really liked how Microsoft lost a lot of these levels. Good volume coming in on the short side. Lost its pre-market levels. Lost the prior day's lows. It just gave a nice move down here. Nice retrace and then down again. So again, see how it holds. A little bit of a lower shadow here, but starting to get below the cloud. And we've got earnings coming up tomorrow after the close on Mr. Softy. So we'll see how it goes on that one. Yeah, Eli, my pleasure. ZAK, what's going on? Yeah, OSUR. Let's take a look. So OSUR, again, nice push on that one there. Upper shadow on this one. So, kind of keep an eye right here. Maybe he's trying to make a little bit of an earnings move on this one. But very, very interesting there. So let's see how it handles that upper shadow on that one. So good stuff, guys. Woo! Awesome. I really appreciate it, everybody, for tuning in this evening. I think it's a great discussion. We're going to continue talking about clean charts for the rest of this week and show you nice ways to kind of see how things jump out you when you see a clean chart. Sometimes we focus a lot on indicators, moving averages, clouds, things like that. But sometimes a clean chart can just tell us everything that we need to know. So good stuff again. Once again, guys, thank you so much. If you're new here and tuning in, be sure to subscribe on YouTube. We go live every market night. We do all this fun stuff. And now we're doing Elliott Wave every Sunday night. And also, be sure to hit the like button, whether you're new here or not. If you're watching the recording, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. I always appreciate it. So thanks, guys. Hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your evening. We'll catch you guys bright and early on the Good Morning Market Prep video here on YouTube and in Twitter. And until then, stay healthy out there and remember your risk first and stay safe. See you soon.